That's a bit of the Moveable Blues, and it's from my book, Getting into Bluegrass Mandolin. I wrote it for the book to illustrate that bluesiness that a lot of Bill Monroe's style playing has in it. And that bluesiness derives from using the, guess what, blue notes in the scale. Now, this is in the key of G. It's all in closed position. I didn't use any, at least not knowingly, didn't use any open string notes. In G you can, but the cool thing is if you learn it in a closed position, you can move it up to like that. You can move it up to B flat, move it to A, you can move it wherever you want. But I use it to teach, as I said, starting out in a basic chop chord position, which in this case was the G chop chord position, and using this B flat, which is a flatted third. Normally that would be just a B. And I'm using the flatted 7. Normally you'd have a natural 7. So we're going. That's the first part. By the way, I'll put a version of this with tablature in a link to it in the introduction to this video so you can download it. We're just doing a basic melody and we're adding those notes in. The thing that I suggest people do is to learn this melody and learn where those blue notes are relative to your G chop chord, your C chop chord, and then we do a little bit with the D too. But the idea is to take the basic thing and then add these variations in, I guess you would call them. But it's really just adding in blue notes. So let's play that first part again. So far we haven't added anything that's not in the G major scale, but now we're going to go. And that's a real bluesy kind of a lick. And another flatted third, regular third, home. So again, all of that is. Another thing you might notice is the timing of it. I'm doing a lot of stuff on with upstrokes because they're on the ands, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and at the end of that little set of riffs there was a triplet passage. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So listen to the rhythm of this again. The combination of that kind of rhythm and also it's a syncopated rhythm and also the blue notes are kind of what I think of as that classic Monroe style of bluegrass. So that's the first part. So the next part is over the C chord. I think of it as a C chop chord, 3-string C chord, and we're going to start on the flatted third, the E flat. We go E flat to E, C, twice, and then sliding up to. Now that B flat we hit up here, now it's the flatted 7 of the C chord. And then back to our G, and this is going to be a bluesy lick. So again, we use the flatted 7th of the G there, and the flatted 3rd. Okay? And then we're going to go walk up to the D. And then the triplets. Let me play the whole thing again kind of slow for you so you can try to imagine it in this block G, chop G context here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So there's an example again where you've just got this basic melody and you're adding these flatted thirds relative to your one chord, say flatted thirds, flatted sevens. And as you change chords though, you can think of them still in the key of G relative to that as flatted thirds and flatted sevens. But if you think of it in the context of the new chord, it's different notes. So that B flat relative to G is a flatted third, but relative to C, it's a flatted seven. So let me play it one more time for you a little bit quicker and read along with the tablature that you've downloaded by now and play along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Time. So there's a couple of other things that you can do with this kind of information. Probably the most useful is to recognize where those flat sevens and flat threes are relative to your root or your chop position. So you know, I might just use that in say East Virginia blues. That wasn't very melodic, but you kind of got the idea how I could fit that in, and I can dip in and out of the melody whenever I want. The other thing that you might want to try doing with this is to, once you feel really confident down here, and you can really feel what that feels like to hit the root and then the flatted third above and the flatted seven below. Just try moving that up to B flat. B flat, really, I have to say that my exploring of this tune really taught me how to play in other keys where I didn't even have to think about what key it was in. I just understood that this is kind of my context of home, and I'm going to go. Well, I didn't do the triplets there, but you get the idea. You can also kind of move that over a key. So if I'm in G and I move over to a C, try to work with this position. Now you run out of strings, but Still, I've got this C position here, or a D position here, an E flat position here. And if I play the Moveable Blues, or at least as much of it as I can fit in, I have to improvise at the end there because I can't go down to my next string. But now I can play something out of C, you know, just. That was nothing in particular, but it did have a little bit of that bluesy, bluegrassy feel. So try this out, move it around up and down the fingerboard, move it over a string, and just always locate your root first, and then say, relative to this root, where's my flatted third above, where's my flatted seven below, and then lower or higher flatted sevens and flatted thirds. There you go, Moveable Blues.